live. There we go. Good. All right, here we go. So, central tendencies. Central means kind of like middle. Today's date, November 30th, 30 Novembre. See? So, our objective today is finding central tendencies. Tendencies, there we go. So, measures of the center, okay? Center's obviously like the middle. The mean, we know what the mean is. The mean. There's a symbol for the mean. It looks like this. Kind of weird symbol, huh? That's the symbol for the mean. We know it's just the average. Just the average. So we add them all up. Add all data. Then we divide by the amount of data. The number of data sets. So the number of numbers, right? Number of numbers. Number in our set. Numbers. And that's the mean. Now the median is a little bit different. The median is the middle number, and it has a symbol like that. And it's going to be just the middle number. Okay. And I want everyone to forgive me. I'm not going to try and pick on anybody. But we go up to the front. We go to the front. Let's see. When you go up to the front, please. And when you go up to the front, when you go up to the front, just stand up here, okay, please. Please, okay. And then, Michael, you go stand up front. Sure. Now line up from shortest to tallest, please.
See?
You only mentioned that you're.
You just want tallest.
Okay, shortest tallest. That's fine. And I think we've already got it here. Okay, now. Now.
Emily, they go. Harper's the top.
So who's the mode? Who's the mode?
The mode or the median?
Who's the median? I'm sorry, who's the median?
Elsa and Bailey.
So together, because you've got an even number set, so we could take their heights, add them, and divide by 2. You almost look like the same height. So let's say they are the same height, so then that would be the mode, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does Michael do to the median? What does Michael do to the mean? I'm sorry, what does Michael do to the mean?
Oh, it makes it go higher.
Right, so your mean is a little bit higher than what we think. Now, if we took Michael out of the picture, then it's going to make the mean really closer to what it is, okay? Right? Does that make sense? So he can drastically affect the mean. But right now, the mode. Who's the mode now? I mean the median now? The median? Bailey. Okay, you got it? Okay, thank you guys. Let's sit down. That's easy, right? You've seen this in middle school, correct?
Yeah.
Mode is just most popular number. Bimodal. Write this down. Bimodal. You can have trimodal. Bimodal means you've got 2 of the same. Trimodal, you can have 3 of the same. I'll show you bimodal real quickly. Bimodal, 3, 3, 5, 7, 9, 9. Bimodal. Bimodal. You see what I'm saying? Bimodal? Because there's 2 most popular. Does that make sense? Okay. Outlier, all right? Michael wasn't quite an outlier, but if we brought in somebody like maybe a professional basketball player, right? That would have been an outlier. So much bigger that doesn't really fit in our data set. Does that make sense? So an outlier is a number that is outside of our data. So it's so big or so small, right? So an outlier is either so big or so small. So big or so small
it doesn't fit. Now, we are going to say an outlier is plus or minus 1.5 times the standard deviation, which you don't know what that is at all. Plus or minus 1.5 times the standard deviation. Deviation, there you go. And you don't know what that means yet, but we're going to talk about standard deviation, okay? All right. Our measures of variance, it's going to be our standard deviation, which you're going to learn about that in a bit. Okay. In the range, hopefully you know what that is. That's just the biggest. Minus the smallest. Okay, now, given the weights professional basketball teams are given, 235, 255, 295, 245, 235, 235, 255, 245. Okay, so if we want the mean, median, mode, and the range, right? Well, lucky for us, my fancy calculators will do this. You want to grab one? Want to grab a fancy calculator, you guys? Okay. Everybody grab one. We know the mean would be to add them all up and divide by, how many numbers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? So there's 15 numbers. So one way I could do the mean is just to add them all up. 235 plus 255 plus 295 plus 245 plus, where am I at? 245 plus 235. Hold on, I don't want to mess this up. 235 twice, right? Another 235. If I make a mistake, will somebody tell me? 245. 245. 233. 325, right? I missed 255 plus 255. Thank you. Now where am I at? Oh, is it 205? I will make a mistake, I promise. 185.
And then 2 more 205s.
Then another 205.
2 more.
Okay, plus 205 plus 2. Whoops. 205. And there's what? 12 numbers, right? Divided by 12.
2 more.
Oh, I get 2 more.
Yeah, you still got 2 more. You still got 215 and 185.
Okay, so I'm going to take my 3,125 plus what? 315, and then what? Plus what? 185.
Yeah, 215 and 185.
215 or 315?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, you guys. Okay, now divide that by 12, and I get.
3 and 4, 4.
So I think I get for my mean. I would have had 293.75 if I didn't make a mistake, right? Are there 15? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, okay, hold on. Then that answer is wrong, isn't it? Boy, I am making mistakes. Divided by 15. There we go, 235. Okay. Luckily, you guys have done this before. Now, what's the median? Now, to get the median, we got to line them up, don't we? Okay.
Okay, so to get the median, I gotta line them up in order, so I'm gonna try and do this. All right, help me out, what's the smallest, I'm gonna have you guys help me, what's the smallest number up there?
185.
185, okay, what else then, 185, what's next?
205.
205, okay, what's next?
235.
235?
215.
215. Where's the 215, there he is, what's next?
235.
235, okay, and then what?
245.
245, okay, then what?
255.
255, okay, then what?
295.
Wait, we missed 25, guys.
Is there 225?
Where? Well, there's a 225.
That's a 325.
Yeah. Oh, wait, no, that's a 325. 225.
Okay, what's next? What's after
After
225?
255 is
295.
295.
295? Can we do the 205?
Yeah.
I didn't cross it. No, we gotta do it twice.
Yeah.
Oh,
You also have
okay,
to do
we got-
235, like 3 times.
205, which
Oh,
was?
there is a 2, oh, it's 3 times.
It's three.
Okay, now I'm okay.
There's 3, 205.
There's 3, 205.
3 205, okay.
There's also like 2 235s.
235s,
For like
okay. 235,
There's 285.
there's a 245, no, what did I miss?
There's another 185.
There's another 185, wow, I gotta put another 185, okay, good. Okay, then what's next?
There's another 245
Another 245,
right now.
okay. Okay, then what?
And 295.
295? Did I get
There's another
255?
235 then.
255, right?
Yeah.
I think there's one.
255,
295.
did we already get this 235 here?
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
Okay, good, then we got our 295, right?
Yep.
We already got this 235 here also?
Yeah.
Okay, 295. And then what?
325.
320. Okay, we got them all right. So we've got 15 numbers,
Where's
ready
the
to each one, yeah.
You're short on a 235.
I am.
There should be three. 235s.
Squeeze that in. Perfect. So the 8th number would be the middle, does that make sense? There's 15, the 8th would be the middle, so I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's my median, right, which is also my mean. All right, cool. What's my mode? What's the mode? Is it 205? Or is it 235?
Wait, how do you
It's
say mode again?
235.
I know we got,
It's the most popular number.
It's 235 or 205.
so it's bot, it's a
235.
bot. Yeah, so it's bimodal, right? Bimodal. Okay, what's the range? Well, the range is 235, right?
325.
225 minus my 185, there's my range, right? Who's got a calculator handy, what's that? What's the range?
325 minus 135. 135.
140.
145. 140.
140, okay, 140, there you go. So there's 140, there's 140 pounds from the biggest to smallest, that's our range, right? Okay, pretty easy. Okay, what about a 95-pound player? What would that do to the whole thing? Total outlier, which would be, you wouldn't want to include it. Does that make sense? Most outliers, they throw out. Even when you think about all the research, this is actually pretty important what's going on in our world. You do all this research, right? And maybe some fool in the lab accidentally comes in with COVID. Right? You do your research and your technician has COVID, and then you know your whole entire day, your sample, all that stuff's bad. You throw it out. You just throw it out, right? Because it's an outlier, right? It's all messed up. So in our case, we wouldn't even count this person 95 pounds, right? We would just throw that outlier out. We wouldn't even grab it. Okay? Make sense? Okay, now, listen to this scenario. You gotta listen. So back in 1995, Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City, Missouri. Now think about where Kansas City, Missouri is. And San Francisco. Kansas City, Missouri, and San Francisco. Yearly average temperature for both cities was the same. It's about 57 degrees. So the average temperature for the year was the same for Missouri and for San Francisco. What do you know about those two cities? You know anything about them? What about San Francisco? West Coast, okay. Does it ever really snow a lot in San
No.
Francisco? Does it ever get very hot in San Francisco?
Yes.
Yeah, not overly hot, because you're right on the water. It's like Seattle, right? It's like Seattle. Kansas City, Missouri is a little bit like Leavenworth. You can even compare Leavenworth to Seattle if you wanted to, right? Extreme temperatures, right?
One rains a lot though, the other snows.
Right, so you've got a temperate climate where the temperatures never go too hot or too cold. In one word, it's extreme, right? So in one way, the data is really spread out in Kansas City. Does that make sense? Or say in Leavenworth or Wenatchee, right? Versus like San Francisco, it never really gets very cold because you're right on the ocean. It's gray and cloudy, right? So we're going to measure this spread by a thing called standard deviation. You're going to need a calculator. You're going to need a good one. We need one of the good calculators to talk about standard deviation, okay?
All right. All right. Okay.
Can I go to the bathroom?
Yes. Standard deviation. Let me erase what I have up here.
So, luckily we have technology. We are not going to do standard deviation by its formula, but I'll talk about the formula, okay?
Oh, that's actually right. That
So-
formula was terrible.
It is terrifying.
And it can be done by hand. Here's the formula for standard deviation. How spread out is the data, okay? There's the formula, okay? Now it's a pretty brutal formula. What it talks about is this.
First of all, what I would need to know is the mean. So I'd have to first add all these numbers up and divide by 9. I'd have to get the mean. And then I would take this number, subtract the mean, get that answer, and square it. And I take this number, subtract the mean, get that answer, square it. This answer, subtract the mean, get that answer, square it. Same thing all the way through. So I'd have 9 of those. Then I take all of those answers and I have to add them all up, okay? If I did that, I would divide by 9, because that's the number of things. And I'd get a number, then I'd take the square root of it. Now, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that for 2 reasons. One, it's tedious. 3 reasons. One, it's tedious. 2, we're gonna make a mistake. And 3, why not use technology if we have technology, right? So what we need to know is only this. You do not have to do the formula. We just need to know that it's how spread out something is, okay? So this is the symbol. So I gave you the standard deviation for both these. We're gonna find it out. This one has a bigger standard deviation. What would that tell me? It's got a bigger standard deviation than this one. What do we know about team A and team B? It's got a bigger standard deviation. What does that tell you? It's more spread out, right? It's more spread out. So you get a team all the way from short basketball players all the way to tall. Okay? This team, they're more consistent in their heights. Does that make sense? Their heights will be close to the same. So here's how we do it. I'm going to write this down. Everybody have at least access to one nice calculator? Or can you share? All right, so let's do example 2 and let's find it. Let's figure out how to do standard deviation. So example 2. And I'm going to write down notes on how to do this in your calculator. So the first thing you're going to do is steps. You're going to hit stat. Okay, this button called stats right there. You guys see stat? So I'm going to hit stat. So I'll hit the stat button. Stat. For statistics, you're going to hit stat. Okay, and I'll go slowly. So everybody push stat. But you got that? Thumbs up. Okay. Now, we want to edit. It's already on edit, so I'm just going to push enter. It's on edit. So I go enter. Oh, my goodness. Mine should say list 1. Oh, I got a messed up calculator, okay. Yeah, all right. Hold on. I'm going to have to get a different calculator or reset it. Give me a second. Oh, my goodness. I hate it when I get back. Somebody's messed up my calculators. Reset. Hold on, give me a second. Okay, so quit. Stat. Edit. Now, do you have... Oh, it's still messed up. Ugh! Children, don't mess my calculators up. Okay, good. You gotta do it, man. Is there any calculators in here? All right, good. There are calculators. I'm going to reset that one later. My goodness. Okay, back to what I was talking about, okay? So I went to stat... Edit. Okay, good. L1. So I'm going to clear my list. Watch how I clear my list. I'm going to clear my list. I'm going to clear my list by doing this. Everybody watch. So to clear my list, you guys have numbers in here?
Yeah.
So go up and highlight that. I'm just going to push up arrow, and I'm going to highlight that. Up arrow, and that's up there, okay? Everybody up arrow and clear that, hit that. Then we'll push the clear button and down. We'll hit the clear button and down. So you got that highlighted. Push your clear button and down arrow. Clear, down arrow, okay? I'll do the same thing with list 2. I'll highlight list 2. Clear button down, okay? Now I'm just going to put my numbers in. Okay, so I'm going to go 84, enter. So enter data. All right, so I'm going to go 84, enter, 75, enter, 77, enter, 82, enter, 80, enter, 80 again, enter, 81, enter, 78, enter, 79, enter, and then 80 again, enter, okay? All right, got them all in my calculator. I'll wait for you, okay? Thumbs up when you get them in your calculator. Okay, I want to see. Thumbs up. When you get them all in your calculator, give me thumbs up, okay? You need a calculator. You need a calculator. If you don't do it, you won't learn how to do it. It's like watching somebody ride a bike, right? So you get on that bike, you do it, you can't learn it, right? Okay? Give me thumbs up when you get it. Good? Okay, good. Got one thumb up. When you get them in, if you need help, you need thumbs up. If you need help, raise your hand. Okay, got one person got all the data in. You just watching?
Yes.
You want to calculate it?
No, I'm not. Okay.
Okay.
I wrote everything down.
Okay. Oh, I don't know if your calculator will do it or not. I don't know. All right, so here's what we're going to do next. We're going to go and push the stat button again. Am I going too fast? Want me to wait? Tell me to wait. Wait. Am I going too fast?
No.
Okay, push the stat button again. Stat. And then I want to go over to the calc for calculate. Because I want to calculate an answer. So move it over. See, I moved it over. So you enter stat. It's on edit. I don't want edit. I go to calculate, okay? Now this is one variable statistics because we're just putting in data, not two variables. So this is one variable. So we're going to go my one variable stats, which it's on, isn't it? So push enter and you're going to get all the information you need, okay? When you're ready, okay? And I'll wait for everybody. So you're going to push. So I'm push enter. You ready for enter? Okay, go down to calculate. Not everyone does this. And there's everything I want. Everything. Yes. Yeah. You're gonna have to wait. Okay. You're right. So here I go. Okay, watch. I have.
You can just copy on it.
Here's my mean. Isn't that cool? It gave me my mean. I didn't have to add them up and divide by 12. There's my mean. There's my sum. There's my sum. If I add all the data, there's my sum. That's my sum squared, who cares? So this is what I want. See this little symbol here? I want that one right there. That's my standard deviation. So I have my mean, that's my standard. You'll have to wait, hold on. So I get this symbol here, and my standard deviation was 2.4166. 2.4166, okay? And that's for the boys. Okay, now can you do it for the girls? Okay, so now, can you go back and do it for the girls? That's boys' height, do the girls. And if you need help, I can help those who need help. So we'll do the girls next, okay? I want you guys to do the girls. And if you need help, I will help those who need help, okay?